Yeah, hi. Is this Pheonix Police or and we had 5 bikes on a bike rack, and we looked this morning and they were all stolen. Welcome to another episode of
The Epic Family Road Trip.
This week we started in Phoenix, Arizona. I was attending the International Franchise Association conference and met up with all kinds of really good friends, made new friends, made all kinds of great contacts for my speaking business.
This is the thing I want you to think about. How is it that a leader can conceive of a certain result and put it out to a workforce in such a way that the workforce takes it up as if it's their own and instantly executes it? Can you understand what that means? What is that process? And that you see with this workforce, how possible it was. So the key to this is the clarity of the strategy, because we started off with a very clear picture of what the success was going to be, an understanding of what the workforce can bring to it, and then creating the space where they understand the strategy and they can then use everything that they have. So you probably saw that they were listening just as well now as when there was nobody here.
Hey guys, I'm here at the International Franchise Conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and we just experienced an incredible leadership training program put on by an orchestra and the conductor, and all kinds of lessons can be drawn in leadership, how to lead an organization, a business, even a family, how the orchestra works in unison and complements each other, and how the leader, the conductor, doesn't try to dictate what they do, but allows them to use their own expertise, knowledge, equipment, tools, instruments, and creativity to create beautiful music. So I'm sure I'll have a lot to ruminate on this whole entire experience, and all kinds of lessons learned. But hopefully you can kind of get the feeling by watching these videos that I took. One from the stage right in front of the orchestra, which was an amazing experience.
They got no money, right? They got zero money. But when you make the significance calculation and you factor in tomorrow and the next day, it becomes not only a good idea, it becomes a strategic imperative that it is obvious that you should spend time with that broke teenager.
We also got to go out as a family to dinner with our good friend Dina Dwyer Owens. If you watched a couple of episodes ago when we were in Texas, we had dinner at her house, and she was out for the franchise conference as well, and so we were able to, even though it's a really busy schedule, we were able to find time to find a little restaurant downtown Phoenix and have dinner. Having dinner with Dina in Phoenix, and it looks pretty fancy. Look at this Mexican food. What do you got, Dan?
Scallops.
What do you got?
Oh, a fancy chimichanga.
Port Verde. I think I'm saying that right.
Nachos. These are mine, nachos.
Nachos.
That's a churro tres leches bread pudding with almond clusters and almond olive leches cream sauce. That'll get you guys.
Happy birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nina. Happy birthday to you. We headed back to the hotel, had a great sleep, got up in the morning, opened the curtains, looked outside to see our motorhome and Jeep, and the bikes were gone. All 5 of our mountain bikes were gone. We had them chained and secured to the bike rack on the back of our Jeep. And we were a little worried because when I booked this hotel, I registered late for the International Franchise Conference because I didn't know where we'd be, but it worked out that we'd be there, and the main hotels were sold out, so I had to get a hotel just a little bit away from where the conference center was. And I called them and I said, I need secure outdoor parking because we have a motorhome and a Jeep and all that stuff and bikes. And the person on the other end of the phone assured me there was, but when we arrived and we had already booked 4 nights or so, we found out that yes, there was outdoor parking, but it wasn't secure. And we felt it was public parking, and so we had a bit of a worried feeling about the whole thing, and we kept looking out the window, checking, making sure everything was okay, but sure enough, somebody with bad intentions got in there with a cable cutter, and they cut our cable and they stole all 5 bikes. I don't know how they did it, but anyway, we called the police. The police arrived, they dusted down the rack and the Jeep looking for fingerprints, and those cops were amazing guys. Thank you to the Pheonix police for coming out so quick, for being so thorough, and as we speak, still looking for our bikes. We know all the serial numbers, so hopefully they'll turn up. So our worst fear, hi. Is this Pheonix police or we parked our vehicle across the road because it wouldn't fit in the underground parking here, and we had 5 bikes on a bike rack, and we looked this morning and they were all stolen. Yeah, they're specialized mountain bikes.
I can't believe someone actually could take the bikes. And is the rack still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So unfortunately, downtown Pheonix here, we had our bikes on the rack, and we're staying up in that hotel, and we had asked on the phone if they had indoor parking or oversized parking, which someone in the dispatch center had said they had, so we chose this hotel. But then when we got here, the only parking available was across the road at this city lot, and we knew it wasn't a very good place to leave bikes, but we woke up this morning and they're all gone. So the police are on the way to file a report, and hopefully they can find them or something. But unfortunately, we won't be mountain biking for a little while. You can see they cut the cable and ran off with 5 bikes in the night. Not good. Check everything else?
Yeah, just about everything else was locked and fine, but all the bikes are gone.
If there's a bright side to the whole thing, it's that the kids got to spend some time learning from the police officers. They were very helpful in explaining what they're doing while they brushed down, dusted for fingerprints, and used special tape to pull the prints off. It was a very educational experience.
These are to the tires, right?
Yeah, normally they're holding the tire, and he just cut them. You may or may not know, but Pete has future career plans to be a police officer with the RCMP, and these guys heard about that and they gave him his first policing assignment. Basically, the assignment, and it's for all the kids, over the next couple of weeks, is to spend some time online every single day searching for the exact models of bicycles that we lost. And if they appear online, which is typically what happens, they are to call the police immediately, and then they'll take it from there. Now, what happens is that these are about $1,000 bikes. Each bike is about $1,000, and the thief will sell them to get rid of them rapidly. They'll sell them for $100 or so. Then the secondary person will take them and wait a little bit, a cooling period, and then sell them to a pawn shop, who then will put it on Craigslist, or they'll just put it on Craigslist or one of those other sites, even Facebook, on their own. And at some point, the bikes appear usually on one of these sites. So the kids are doing some sleuth and detective work by making sure that they don't appear online, or making sure that they're aware of when they appear online, and then they have the phone number and the email for the police. And who knows, hopefully we'll be able to find them and get them back.
So what are you guys doing?
Looking for our bikes on eBay and Craigslist.
Looking for them because they got stolen. That's what the cops told us to do. If we could help just by looking on things like Craigslist and eBay for stuff like our bikes that might be stolen, sold to a pawn shop. The pawn shop sells it on there. That'd be awesome if we could find it,
but we're not holding our breath. But let's hope for the best. If you guys are in the Pheonix area, or someone wants to get online and help us search, they're all specialized bikes. They're called Specialized. We had a purple one, orange one, 2 white ones, and a black one. Any of you watching, you can help us with the detective work, looking for our bikes by searching for these exact bikes, the Specialized bikes in the Pheonix area. And who knows, if you see something, make sure you leave a comment and let us know. We appreciate any help we can get. We'll leave a list of the models of each of the bikes in the description section below the video. If you want to help us out, we'd much appreciate it. After that, we left Pheonix without our bikes and headed north through the desert and then up into the high desert country. It's an amazing elevation climb going from Pheonix to where we are now, which is in the Petrified Forest National Park. We climbed up and up and up and eventually got into snow. So in a couple of hours went from really hot desert with big sequoia cacti to the pine forests of the mountains, right up to the snow-covered ground of the high elevations. Heading up to the Petrified Forest. I remember my parents telling us as kids about this place. We didn't make it there on the first time through Arizona, so looking forward to it. It should be educational. That was a drive and a half. Up through the mountains, we went from dry deserts with big cacti to getting into the really big hills, and then went up and up and up for hours. And then when we got to the top, we had snow on the ground, and then you go from desert to tall pine trees. And then it changed again here where we are. I don't know the town, but it's called Holbrook. It's the northeastern corner, and now you're starting to see the tips of Monument Valley, so I'm looking forward to getting up there.
Okay, that's it. Exiting.
Nostalgia is my second nature.
Now in Petrified Forest National Park, which is incredibly fascinating. I can't wait to show you the video right now of all the petrified logs from many, many years ago. This is a really interesting visit. If you're ever in Arizona, make sure you come by. And we found it incredibly educational too for the kids. After that, we drove just through the same park into what's called the Painted Desert National Park. It's a section of the Painted Desert, which is actually about 15,000 square miles, a huge area. And you can probably see in the background here of where we're sitting, some of the beautiful colored hills that the Painted Desert is so famous for. We're heading to the Wigwam Motel that you see on cars. They actually used this one that we're going to be at in a few minutes to design the drawings for the Cars movie. Next to the Petrified National Forest, and on the way there we're going to do some research and find out how this all works. It's quite curious.
Now pick up the petrified room.
Wow. Let's go. This is petrified? Whoa. Wow. Do they know exactly what kind of wood? Was it cedar or something?
They were conifers.
Conifers, yeah.
Yeah, this was a tropical floodplain.
Oh, okay.
Tropical floodplain. The logs, the trees did not grow here. They grew somewhere else.
Oh.
They floated into this area, became waterlogged, and sunk. The rivers and the floodwaters were fast flowing, had a lot of sediment in them, so the trees were covered up quickly. No oxygen, no bacteria, so they didn't decay. They just sat there. Volcanoes, mainly west of here, erupted, threw out volcanic ash. Volcanic ash is silica dioxide, or quartz. That silica dioxide dissolved in the water, became microscopic in size. Over the millions of years, that silica-rich water infiltrated into those trees. And when it got in the cell of the tree, a little chemical reaction took place, and that silica recrystallized inside the tree.
For those of you who love going to national parks like we do, make sure you get a national park pass. It costs $80, but man, if you're doing a couple of parks, it pays for itself, and then every park you do after that is basically free. We did it last year, and it was well worth our time. So make sure you get that for 2018. Another thing we did just now, we wish we had done it in 2016 when we hit so many national parks, but it's called a National Park Passport. And it's a little book you got, and each of the kids got one, and whenever you go to a park, you can get it stamped to say you've been there. And we're gonna now start filling it in and maybe retrace some of our steps from our first trip around North America. Make sure you stay with us for next week's video as we continue north and west in Arizona up to the Monument Valley, which is going to be some incredible scenery. You don't want to miss it, as well as some of the beautiful canyons up there. Thank you to all of our subscribers on our YouTube channel. We really love having you on board as part of the Epic family. Make sure you check out our Instagram as well, and we opened a Facebook site for those of you who love using that platform. Make sure you tell someone and share our story if you can. We'd really appreciate that. Leave comments and questions. We want to do some more informational videos coming up. And in the meantime, we'll see you down the road.